Have you ever looked at a picture and wondered if it was real? A place so strange, so otherworldly, that it seems to have been plucked from a dream. Deep within China, landscapes exist that challenge our very understanding of what is possible on our own planet. Towering pillars of stone pierce the clouds, reaching for the sky like ancient fingers. Immense granite peaks, weathered by millennia, float above a sea of mist. These are not scenes from a fantasy film, though they have inspired many. They are real places, sculpted by time, water, wind places, that invite us to question the line between the familiar and the fantastical, waiting to be discovered. This journey begins with a simple, yet profound question. Did you know that some of the most breathtaking mountains in the world are found in China? For many, the answer is a surprise. These colossal natural wonders remain hidden from much of the world's view, veiled in mystery and mist. Our quest is to pull back that veil. We will explore these surreal peaks, examining their impossible shapes and trying to understand why they feel so alien, so utterly out of this world. We want to discover what makes them more than just rock and stone, but gateways to a different kind of reality, a different kind of wonder. To capture the essence of these magnificent landscapes, we will be using a unique approach. Our entire exploration will be brought to life through generated visuals, allowing us to craft scenes of impossible beauty and scale, just as a painter would. Every frame is designed to transport you directly into the heart of these mountains. A calm, male narrative voice, reminiscent of classic nature documentaries, will be your guide. This voice will lead you through the misty valleys and up the treacherous stone stairways. It will share the stories, the science, the sheer awe that these places inspire, creating a fully immersive and contemplative experience for you. Our adventure is carefully mapped out. We will not just be looking at pretty pictures, we will be embarking on a true expedition. This journey will take us through different, iconic regions of China, each with its own unique character and story. We will see the floating pillars of Zhangjiajie, the granite giants of Huangshan. Along the way, we will uncover the challenges of truly seeing their vastness. And to bring it all home, we will share a powerful personal story from a traveler who stood above the clouds, a moment that encapsulates the jaw-dropping magic of China's mountains. Prepare yourself for a journey that will leave you breathless. Our planet is a treasure trove of natural wonders, but there are places that seem to operate by a different set of rules. China's mountainscapes are among them. They are not just tall, they are artistically, almost deliberately, sculpted. Imagine a forest, but instead of trees, there are slender stone columns, hundreds of meters high, draped in lush vegetation. Picture yourself standing on a precipice as the sun rises, painting a vast ocean of clouds below you in hues of gold and crimson. These are the sights that await us. Our goal is to do more than just show you these places. It is to make you feel them. We will delve into the very soul of these mountains. This is a journey into the surreal. We will investigate what makes these formations so unique, so mind-bendingly beautiful that they have become legends. It is not simply about their height or their age, but their form. They possess a delicate, almost fragile quality, despite their immense size, creating a paradox that fascinates artists, poets, and filmmakers alike. We will explore how geological forces over millions of years conspired to create these vertical worlds. Our exploration will be a visual feast, a meditation on nature's power to create art on a scale that dwarfs human imagination, leaving us in a state of pure, unadulterated awe. This visual odyssey will be structured to feel like a real expedition, a story unfolding with each passing minute. We will begin by confronting the central challenge: how can we possibly capture the true scale of such immensity? Then, we will journey deep into the heart of two legendary locations. First, we will navigate the bewildering stone forest of Zhangjiajie, a place so strange it became the blueprint for a fictional alien world. Afterward, we will ascend the sacred slopes of Huangshan, a mountain that is as much a cultural icon as it is a geological marvel, a living gallery of natural art. The climax of our journey will be an intimate, personal moment. We will share the story of a traveler's breathtaking experience, a singular moment of connection with the sublime. It is in these quiet, personal encounters that the true power of these landscapes is revealed. The feeling of standing at the top of the world, humbled and transformed by the view, is something that stays with you forever. This entire expedition has been crafted to be more than a documentary. It is an invitation to dream, to wonder, and to see our world with fresh, astonished eyes. Let the journey begin. One of the greatest challenges in sharing the wonder of China's mountains is a simple, universal problem: the tyranny of the frame. Any photograph or video, no matter how skillfully captured, is confined by its edges. It presents a small window into a reality that is boundless, a world that stretches far beyond the confines of the screen. When you look at a picture of a place like Zhangjiajie, you see a stunning pillar of rock. But your brain struggles to process its true scale. There is no familiar reference point, no everyday object to give you a sense of its colossal height. The frame crops out, the surrounding landscape, the vastness of the sky, the sheer drop into the valley below, reducing a monumental wonder to a manageable but misleading image. Even the most spectacular visuals can fall short of conveying the true experience. A photograph can show you the shape of a peak. It cannot communicate the feeling of the wind on your face, or the dizzying vertigo of looking down from a great height. It can capture a moment, but not the slow, majestic passage of time as clouds drift and reshape the scenery. The frame flattens depth, compressing miles of landscape into a single plane. What you see is a beautiful postcard. What you miss is the immersive, 360-degree reality of being enveloped by a world of stone giants. We try to overcome this with sweeping panoramic shots, dramatic aerial fly-throughs. But even these techniques have their limits. The screen remains a flat surface. This is why many people feel a sense of detachment when they see these images. They might appreciate the beauty, but they don't feel the awe. The image can feel too perfect, almost like a digital painting. This disconnect prevents the viewer from grasping the raw, untamed power of the landscape, its improbability and magic. Our first task is to acknowledge this challenge head-on. We must use visuals not just to show these mountains, but to remind you constantly of what lies beyond the frame. Use techniques that hint at the scale, suggest the depth, evoke the feeling of being there. We invite you to use your imagination. Picture yourself standing on that narrow ledge, surrounded by a world so vast it defies easy comprehension. Only by breaking free from the tyranny of the frame can we begin to approach a true understanding of these magnificent places. The challenge of capturing these landscapes is not just about scale, it is also about their ever-changing nature. Light mist constantly repainting the scenery from one moment to the next. In the early morning, the first rays of sunlight might pierce through a thick blanket of fog, illuminating a single peak in a blaze of gold, while leaving the rest of the world in shadow. An hour later, that same peak could be completely swallowed by a swirling sea of clouds, rendered invisible. Same peak, bright sunlight, base hidden by clouds. What you see is entirely dependent on when you look. This ephemeral quality makes the mountains feel alive, but it also makes them incredibly difficult to document accurately. The mist, in particular, plays a deceptive and magical role. It is the signature feature of ranges like Huangshan, creating the famous Sea of Clouds. This phenomenon can transform a scene of solid, immovable rock into a dreamscape of floating islands. The mist obscures the base of the mountains, erasing the connection to the ground and creating the illusion that these massive peaks are hovering in mid-air. While this is breathtakingly beautiful, it also further complicates our perception of scale and distance. A distant peak might seem close, while a nearby ridge might be entirely hidden, making the landscape feel both infinite and intimate at the same time, a paradox that confuses the eye and stirs the soul. Seasons add another layer of complexity. In spring, the mountains are draped in fresh, vibrant green and delicate wildflowers. In summer, they are lush and often shrouded in the heavy mists of the monsoon. Autumn brings a riot of color, with deep reds and brilliant yellows painting the slopes. And in winter, a delicate coating of frost and snow turns the landscape into a crystalline wonderland, with every pine needle and branch encased in ice. Each season offers a completely different mountain, a new personality. A single viewpoint can yield 4 vastly different experiences depending on the time of year, making any single photograph just one chapter in a much longer, ever-evolving story. This constant transformation poses an emotional challenge as well as a technical one. How do you convey a place that is never the same twice? How do you capture an experience that is so dependent on fleeting moments of atmospheric magic? The truth is, you can't. What we can do is show you a collection of these moments. We can present the mountains in different lights, in different mists, and in different seasons. By doing so, we hope to communicate not a static image of a place, but a sense of its living, breathing character. We aim to capture its dynamism, its unpredictability, and the profound sense that you are witnessing something unique and unrepeatable. Our minds are accustomed to landscapes that stretch horizontally. We understand rolling hills and wide plains. The mountains of China, particularly in places like Zhangjiajie, defy this expectation with their extreme verticality. Here, the world seems to have been turned on its side. Thin, impossibly tall pillars of quartz sandstone rise straight up from the forest floor, some reaching heights of over 1,000 feet. This creates a profound perceptual challenge. When you stand at the base and look up, the cliff face seems to stretch into infinity. When you stand at the top and look down, the ground seems to vanish, creating a terrifying and exhilarating sense of exposure. This vertical world creates an illusion of separation. The peaks feel disconnected from the earth, like individual sculptures placed in a divine gallery. This is especially true when mist fills the valleys, obscuring the foundations of the pillars. The effect is so powerful that it fueled the imagination of filmmakers creating the floating Hallelujah Mountains in the movie Avatar. This popular culture connection has, in an ironic twist, made the real landscape seem even more unreal to some visitors. People arrive expecting a special effect and are stunned to find that the reality is just as, if not more, spectacular. They are faced with a geological wonder that seems to defy the laws of physics. Conveying this verticality in a 2-dimensional medium is incredibly difficult. A wide shot can show the pillars, but it diminishes their towering presence. A close-up on a cliff face can show texture, but it loses the context of height. Drones have become an invaluable tool, allowing us to ascend alongside these stone giants, to circle their peaks, and to plunge down their sheer faces. These movements can help simulate the feeling of being there, providing a sense of motion and scale that a static image cannot. By flying the camera from the base to the summit, we can take the viewer on a vertical journey, helping them to appreciate the immense height and the dizzying drops. Even with these advanced tools, the emotional impact of the verticality is hard to replicate. It is a feeling of being small in a world of giants. It is the neck-craning awe of looking up and the stomach-churning fear of looking down. This feeling is a key part of the experience, a physical and psychological reaction to the extreme environment. One common misconception visitors have is underestimating the sheer physical effort required to navigate this vertical world. The endless staircases carved into the rock are a testament to human determination, but they are also a brutal reminder that this is a landscape not easily tamed or comprehended. Our journey now takes us deep into the heart of Hunan province to a place that seems torn from the pages of a science fiction novel, Zhangjiajie National Forest Park. This is not just a mountain range, it is a vertical labyrinth of stone. Imagine thousands of slender quartz sandstone pillars, each one a skyscraper designed by nature, rising majestically from the forest floor. Some stand alone, proud and defiant, while others cluster together like a silent stone army. Draped in a cloak of subtropical foliage, their peaks often disappear into a soft blanket of mist, creating a scene of breathtaking beauty, bewildering beauty. This is the landscape that inspired Avatar's Hallelujah Mountains. Stepping into it feels like another world. The sheer improbability of Zhangjiajie is the first thing that strikes you. Our minds are not wired to process a forest of rock. We expect mountains to be broad-sloped, connected, forming ridges and ranges. But here, the rules are different. the ground falls away into deep, verdant canyons, and from these chasms, the pillars ascend with an impossible grace. They are incredibly thin for their height, some reaching over 1,000 feet into the air. This unique geology creates a sense of wonder mixed with disbelief. You find yourself constantly asking, how can this be real? It is a landscape that challenges your perception and fires your imagination, making you feel like an explorer discovering a lost and forgotten planet. This otherworldly quality has made Zhangjiajie a global icon, yet it has also created a strange paradox. For many visitors, the connection to Avatar is so strong that the park feels like a film set. The real, geological marvel is almost overshadowed by its fictional counterpart. People arrive expecting to see Pandora and are not disappointed. The park has even embraced the connection, placing statues of the movie's characters at key viewpoints. But the true magic of Zhangjiajie is not that it looks like a fantasy world. It is that a fantasy world was needed to do justice to its reality. This is a place where nature's artistry has surpassed even our wildest cinematic dreams. Our exploration of Zhangjiajie, therefore, is an attempt to look beyond the pop culture fame and connect with the raw, elemental power of the place itself. We will journey among these stone giants, seeking to understand how they came to be and what they mean. We will navigate the high-altitude pathways and gaze into the mist-filled voids that separate them. This is a journey into a vertical world, a place of dizzying heights, profound beauty. It is an invitation to get lost in a landscape so surreal, so utterly alien, that it forces you to reconsider what is possible on our own planet. Welcome to a reality that is stranger and more wonderful than fiction. From the vertical pillars of Zhangjiajie, our journey now transitions to a landscape of different, yet equally profound beauty. We ascend into the mountains of Anhui province, to a place that is not just a geological wonder, but a cultural sanctuary. Huangshan, the Yellow Mountain. This is not a forest of stone, but a majestic kingdom of sharp granite peaks, weathered into fantastical shapes over countless millennia. Huangshan is the quintessential Chinese mountain, the very image that comes to mind when one thinks of classical landscapes. It is a place where nature's raw power has been softened by an aura of artistic and spiritual reverence, a living testament to the deep connection between humanity and the natural world. For over 1,000 years, Huangshan has been the ultimate muse for Chinese artists. Countless painters, poets, and scholars have made the arduous pilgrimage to its slopes, seeking inspiration from its sublime vistas. They did not come merely to observe, but to commune with the mountain's spirit, to capture its essence, or qi, in their work. The mountain became the heart of the shan shui, mountain water, style of ink wash painting, a genre that prioritizes emotional resonance over photorealistic detail. To walk the paths of Huangshan is to step directly into one of these ancient scrolls, to see the very scenes that have captivated the artistic imagination of a nation for centuries. Unlike Zhangjiajie's bewildering verticality, Huangshan's beauty lies in its composition and atmosphere. The landscape is defined by what are known as the Four Wonders. The fantastically shaped granite peaks, the gnarled and resilient pines, the famous Sea of Clouds, and the hot springs. It is the interplay of these four elements that creates the mountain's unique and captivating charm. Each view is a perfectly balanced scene, an arrangement of solid and void, of dark, jagged rock and soft, ethereal mist. This inherent artistry is what drew the painters here, the sense that nature itself was composing masterpieces for any who were patient enough to look. Our exploration of Huangshan is therefore a journey into the soul of Chinese landscape art. We will follow in the footsteps of the ancient poets and painters, seeking to understand why this particular mountain has held such a powerful grip on the cultural psyche. We will witness the sun rising over an ocean of clouds, marvel at the tenacity of pines growing from sheer rock, and navigate the stone stairways that cling to its precipitous cliffs. This is more than a visit to a beautiful location. It is an immersion into a living gallery, a place where every peak and every tree is steeped in layers of history, art, and profound meaning. Section 1. The cold before the dawn. Every journey has a moment that defines it. a single, sharp memory that cuts through all the others. For me, that moment arrived in the deep, biting cold of a pre-dawn morning on a peak in Huangshan. The climb had started in complete darkness, guided only by the weak beam of a headlamp and the ghostly outlines of stone steps that seemed to ascend into an infinite black sky. The air was thin and bit at any exposed skin, a stark physical reminder of our altitude. Each breath was a visible puff of white vapor, quickly swallowed by the surrounding gloom. The only sounds were our own labored breathing and the rhythmic tap of our boots on the ancient, cold stone, a lonely percussion in the immense silence of the mountain. The path was a relentless, vertical challenge, and with every step, a small part of my mind questioned the sanity of this endeavor. My legs ached with a deep, persistent burn, a protest against the endless ascent. A heavy fatigue had settled into my bones, a tempting whisper that suggested turning back to the warmth of the hotel. This was the raw, unglamorous reality of mountain travel, a world away from the perfect postcards. It was a struggle against my own physical limits and the overwhelming desire for comfort. The peak felt impossibly far, a theoretical destination in a world that had shrunk to just the next step, and the next, and the one after that. We were not alone in this nocturnal pilgrimage. Along the way, we passed other shadowy figures, all huddled in thick coats, all moving with the same determined, weary pace. We were a silent community of strangers, united by a shared, unspoken goal: to witness the sunrise from above the clouds. There was a sense of shared hardship and anticipation in the air, a quiet camaraderie born from the mutual struggle against the cold and the dark. We were all chasing a promise, a rumor of a spectacle so profound that it made this uncomfortable, breathless climb worthwhile. The hope of that reward was the fuel that kept us moving upward. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we reached the viewpoint. It was a small railed platform clinging to the edge of the world. The darkness was still absolute, and the cold was even more intense now that we were still, the wind slicing across the exposed peak with an icy edge. We found a spot, huddled together for warmth, and waited. The world was a formless void of black and grey. There was nothing to see but the faint outlines of other watchers, all staring eastward into the impenetrable darkness. It was a moment of pure faith, a bet that the pain and the cold would soon give way to something magnificent. As the sun climbed higher, it unveiled the masterpiece that had been hidden by the night. The darkness below us did not simply disappear, it receded to reveal a landscape beyond all imagination. We were standing not on a mountain, but on an island. We were on an island in the sky, floating in the middle of a vast, tranquil ocean. This was Huangshan's legendary Sea of Clouds, and it stretched to every horizon, a boundless expanse of soft white vapor. The peaks of other mountains pierced through the clouds like a scattered archipelago of dark, jagged islands. A scattered archipelago of mountaintops rose from the mist. Their sharp silhouettes contrasted with the soft, rolling sea around them. The light transformed everything it touched. The cloud sea became a dynamic, three-dimensional landscape of its own. The golden light of the rising sun skimmed across its surface, catching the crests of cloudy waves and casting long, soft blue shadows into its troughs. Mist swirled in slow, silent eddies around the bases of the rock islands. The scene was so utterly serene, so perfectly beautiful, that it felt sacred. It was as if the world had been washed clean, remade anew in the first light of dawn. This was the moment that tied everything together. This was why the painters had come. This was why the poets had come. This was the view that launched 1,000 ink-wash scrolls. It was not just a beautiful sunrise, it was a philosophical experience. The solid, heavy permanence of the granite peaks combined with the transient, ethereal nature of the clouds created a perfect representation of yin and yang, the interplay of opposing but complementary forces. It was a living embodiment of a core principle of Chinese thought, a visual lesson in balance and harmony. I was not just looking at a view, I was looking at a core truth of the universe, beautifully expressed. The feeling that washed over me was one of profound humility. My personal struggle to reach the peak, which had felt so significant in the darkness, now seemed laughably small in the face of such immense and timeless beauty. I was an insignificant speck, a fleeting visitor in a world of giants, privileged to witness a daily spectacle that has occurred for millions of years and will continue for millions more. This realization was not disheartening, it was liberating. It was a powerful and deeply moving reminder of my own small place in the grand, magnificent sweep of the cosmos. A moment of connection that was both humbling and deeply fulfilling. Our journey through the impossible landscapes of China is now drawing to a close. We began with a simple question: are these mountains even real? We have since traveled from the surreal, vertical world of Zhangjiajie to the poetic, misty peaks of Huangshan, and the answer is clear. They are not only real, but more magnificent than any photograph or film could ever convey. We first confronted the immense challenge of capturing their true scale, how a simple frame can never contain their boundless grandeur. We learned to look beyond the picture to imagine ourselves standing within that vast, three-dimensional space, dwarfed by the sheer power of nature. We ventured into Zhangjiajie, a gateway to another planet. Towering sandstone pillars, a forest of stone rising from a sea of mist. The slow, patient artistry of water and time, sculpting these forms over millions of years. A world that inspired cinematic visions, yet is more spectacular in reality. A landscape that defies logic and ignites the imagination. A place that leaves you questioning the very definition of a mountain. Then we ascended into Huangshan, the cultural heart of China's mountains. Sharp granite peaks, gnarled ancient pines, the ethereal sea of clouds. We followed centuries of artists and poets who made this their muse, learning to see the landscape as source of spiritual and philosophical meaning. Huangshan's beauty, a fusion of natural wonder and human reverence. Every vista a masterpiece, every stone a story. Finally, a traveler on a high peak at dawn, watching the sun rise over an ocean of clouds. That single moment brought everything into sharp focus. The true power of these mountains is more than visual splendor, it's their ability to evoke awe and connection. These quiet, personal encounters reveal the otherworldly nature of these landscapes. These mountains are globally significant not just for geology, but for their ability to inspire and transform all who journey to see them. We have journeyed far, exploring landscapes that challenge our perception and stir our souls. The pillars of Zhangjiajie, the pines of Huangshan are more than just destinations, they are invitations. They are invitations to look at our world with fresh eyes, to seek out the wonder that lies hidden in the high and lonely places. These mountains are a powerful reminder that our planet is still full of mystery and magic, holding sights that can leave us breathless and moments that can change us forever. The stories and visuals we have shared are but a glimpse, a faint echo of the real experience of standing in the presence of such magnificence. Now, the journey is passed to you. The world is a vast and wondrous place, filled with landscapes that hold their own unique stories. Have you ever had an experience like this? Have you ever stood on a mountaintop, looked out at the world and felt a sense of profound awe? We would love to hear your stories. Share your own mountain moments in the comments below. Tell us about the places that have left you speechless, the views that have been etched into your memory. Your experiences are part of this global tapestry of wonder. Sharing them helps us all appreciate the incredible beauty of our shared home. And where should our next adventure take us? The mountains of China are just one chapter in the great book of our planet's natural marvels. Are there other amazing landscapes you want to see explored in this way? The jagged peaks of Patagonia, the fiery volcanoes of Iceland, the vast silent deserts of Namibia. Let us know in the comments what corners of the world you dream of visiting. Your suggestions will guide our future journeys as we continue our quest to uncover the most awe-inspiring places on Earth, bringing them to life through these visual explorations for you to experience. If this journey has inspired you, if it has sparked your curiosity and filled you with a sense of wonder, please consider supporting our channel. Take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who dreams of adventure, subscribe, click the notification bell so you do not miss our next expedition. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through China's otherworldly mountains. Until next time, keep exploring and keep wondering. What's your mountain story?